The will of God prevails. In great contests each party claims to act in accordance with the will of God. Both may be, and one must be, wrong. God cannot be for and against the same thing at the same time. In the present civil war it is quite possible that God's purpose is something different from the purpose of either party, and yet the human instrumentalities, working just as they do, are of the best adaptation to effect his purpose. I care not for a man's religion whose dog and cat are not the better for it. Let us have faith that right makes might, and in that faith, let us, to the end, dare to do our duty as we understand it. The United States government must not undertake to run the churches. When an individual, in the church or out of it, becomes dangerous to the public interest he must be checked. Any people anywhere, being inclined and having the power, have the right to rise up, and shake off the existing government, and form a new one that suits them better. This is a most valuable, a most sacred right, a right, which we hope and believe, is to liberate the world. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved, I do not expect the house to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other. This country, with its institutions, belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right of amending it, or their revolutionary right to dismember it or overthrow it. I desire to so conduct the affairs of this administration that if at the end, when I come to lay down the reins of power, I have lost every other friend on earth, I shall at least have one friend left, and that friend shall be down inside of me. Public sentiment is everything. With public sentiment, nothing can fail, without it nothing can succeed. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. I cannot make it better known than it already is that I strongly favor colonization. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. Point out to them how the nominal winner is often a real loser in fees, expenses, and waste of time. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has a superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. The love of property and consciousness of right and wrong have conflicting places in our organization, which often makes a man's course seem crooked, his conduct a riddle. What is conservatism? Is it not adherence to the old and tried, against the new and untried? Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That's my religion. Labor is prior to, and independent of, capital. Capital is only the fruit of labor, and could never have existed if labor had not first existed. Labor is the superior of capital, and deserves much the higher consideration. Property is the fruit of labor, property is desirable, is a positive good in the world. That some should be rich shows that others may become rich, and hence is just encouragement to industry and enterprise. Let not him who is houseless pull down the house of another, but let him labor diligently and build one for himself, thus by example assuring that his own shall be safe from violence when built. I can make a general in 5 minutes, but a good horse is hard to replace. My father taught me to work, but not to love it. I never did like to work, and I don't deny it. I'd rather read, tell stories, crack jokes, talk, laugh, anything but work. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory, stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land, will yet swell the chorus of the Union, when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature. If we have no friends, we have no pleasure, and if we have them, we are sure to lose them, and be doubly pained by the loss. I distrust the wisdom if not the sincerity of friends who would hold my hands while my enemies stab me. I never encourage deceit, and falsehood, especially if you have got a bad memory, is the worst enemy a fellow can have. The fact is, truth is your truest friend, no matter what the circumstances are. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let him down. Whatever you are, be a good one. I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. Those who look for the bad in people will surely find it. Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. I will prepare and someday my chance will come. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. I am in favor of animal rights as well as human rights. That is the way of a whole human being. Towering genius disdains a beaten path. It seeks regions hitherto unexplored. There is no grievance that is a fit object of redress by mob law. If you are resolutely determined to make a lawyer of yourself, the thing is more than half done already. The greatest fine art of the future will be the making of a comfortable living from a small piece of land. I expect to maintain this contest until successful, or till I die, or am conquered, or my term expires, or Congress or the country forsakes me. A capacity, and taste, for reading, gives access to whatever has already been discovered by others. It is the key, or one of the keys, to the already solved problems. And not only so. It gives a relish, and facility, for successfully pursuing the, yet, unsolved ones. On the question of liberty, as a principle, we are not what we have been. When we were the political slaves of King George, and wanted to be free, we called the maxim that all men are created equal a self-evident truth, but now when we have grown fat, and have lost all dread of being slaves ourselves, we have become so greedy to be masters that we call the same maxim a self-evident lie. Our reliance is in the love of liberty which God has planted in our bosoms. Our defense is in the preservation of the spirit which prizes liberty as the heritage of all men, in all lands, everywhere. Peace does not appear so distant as it did. I hope it will come soon, and come to stay, and so come as to be worth the keeping in all future time. I have here stated my purpose according to my view of official duty, and I intend no modification of my oft-expressed personal wish that all men everywhere could be free. In giving freedom to the slave, we assure freedom to the free, honorable alike in what we give, and what we preserve. We shall nobly save, or meanly lose, the last best, hope of earth. Fourscore and 7 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent, a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. The world has never had a good definition of the word liberty, and the American people, just now, are much in want of one. We all declare for liberty, but in using the same word we do not all mean the same thing. In very truth he was, the noblest work of God, an honest man. I believe it is an established maxim in morals that he who makes an assertion without knowing whether it is true or false, is guilty of falsehood, and the accidental truth of the assertion does not justify or excuse him. Let no young man choosing the law for a calling for a moment yield to the popular belief. Resolve to be honest at all events, and if in your own judgment you cannot be an honest lawyer, resolve to be honest without being a lawyer. In law it is a good policy to never plead what you need not, lest you oblige yourself to prove what you cannot. Let us at all times remember that all American citizens are brothers of a common country, and should dwell together in the bonds of fraternal feeling. I have never had a feeling politically that did not spring from the sentiments embodied in the Declaration of Independence. Passion has helped us, but can do so no more. It will in future be our enemy. Reason, cold, calculating, unimpassioned reason, must furnish all the materials for our future support and defense. Folks are usually about as happy as they make their minds up to be.